All right, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Pennsylvania Junior Bowlers Tour live on YouTube. Today, one of our special events that we have every year, this is the Bowling Center Team Championship. This is where we get individuals that bowl in the same team. Basically, if you're local, if you're traveling from a distance, we get bowlers that are close to each other, and they form a team, and we see who's the best. And what we do for this tournament, the winning teams in Scratch and Handicap each get a $500 donated to their youth junior leagues. Due to a disparage of the teams this year, we have 6 handicap teams and 4 scratch teams. So what's going to happen is we are going to be doing a football-style bracket for the handicap side and a regular 4-team bracket for the scratch side. These are going to be one-game matches. Winner moves on. So we're going to be here a little while. So we're actually going to have 2 matches for scratch and 3 matches for handicap. So sit back. You're going to have about 3 hours worth of bowling. All right, we're going to be announcing the finalists because I have no idea who they are yet. So on to Matthew to take care of that.
Okay, bowling fans, welcome to Parkway Lanes and our finals for the 7th Annual Bowling Center Championship. We want to announce our 10 finalist teams, 4 in scratch and 6 in handicap, competing this evening for over $5,000 in total scholarships, including donations to their junior league programs. Starting in the scratch division, our 1-4 and 2-3 matches. Our top seed for today is 222 Dutch Lane. In the first match, they will be taking on the number 4 seed, Howell Lanes, number 2.
All right, in the scratch, your leaders are 222 Dutch Lanes.
Second match, off to the right of live stream, we'll have our number 2 and 3 seeds. Our number 2 seed from New Jersey, Oakwood Lanes.
Your number 2 seed in scratch, Oakwood Lanes from New Jersey.
And in their match, they'll be taking on the number 3 seed, Howell Lanes, number 1.
Your number 3 seed, Howell Lanes, team number 1. And your 4th seed, Howell Lanes, team number 2.
On the handicap side, we have 6 teams competing.
On the handicap side, teams 1 and 2 are going to get a bye.
Top 2 teams are getting a bye for the first round. Our number 1 seed team is Jersey Lanes.
Your number 1 seed getting the bye, Jersey Lanes.
And our number 2 seed team is Howell Lanes.
Number 2 seed, Howell Lanes, so both of those teams get a bye.
Okay, for the matches that you are going to see in this first round, our number 3 seed team is Shell Lanes, number 2.
Shell Lanes, number 2, is the 3 seed.
And in their match, they'll be taking on the number 6 seed, Palmyra Bowling Center.
Palmyra Bowling Center is your 6th seed.
Just off to the left of live streaming, you will have our number 4 and 5 seeds. Our number 4 seed is Cypress Lanes Girls.
Cypress Lanes Girls is your number 4 seed.
Our number 5 seed is Hudson Lanes.
Your number 5 seed is Hudson Lanes.
Bowling fans, let's give a nice hand for all 10 of our finalist teams in this year's Bowling Center.
All right, so typically how this works when we have multiple matches going on, the teams that we stream on the live stream are the highest seeds. So on the scratch side, on lanes 43 and 44, you're going to see the number 1 seed against the number 4 seed, and on lanes 41 and 42, on the handicap side, you're going to see the number 3 seed against the number 6 seed. We will certainly keep you informed on the matches that are off camera. You can see them on your screen, but you just don't know what the scores are going to be. Who's ever doing telecasting, whether it be me or Skip or Matthew, we will certainly keep you up to date. We had a very good turnout today of 33 teams, I believe it was, 23 in handicap and 10 in scratch, which is an awesome turnout for this tournament. They were bowling on Abbey Road, and these lanes have not been touched all day. They were oiled this morning, and they've been sitting ever since. So they should hook a little more. As usual, the chat is live and operational. If you have any questions or comments, feel free. I'll try to answer anything as best as I can if you want to give a shout out to anybody. All I ask is that you keep it adult. I'm not in the mood to ban anybody today. All right, teams are on for practice now. I'll be back in a couple. Okay, for those of you that may be new to us on YouTube, we are the Pennsylvania Junior Bowlers Tour. We have over 40 tournaments every year on the weekends, a couple of them during the week over the Christmas holiday season. This is our third year doing the finals on YouTube. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, where the heck have you been? If you like what you see, hit that subscribe button in the upper right-hand portion of the screen, and as long as you get notifications, you will be notified each and every time we go live for the finals of the Pennsylvania Junior Bowlers Tour. I'll try to get some names for you. I know the top seeds from 222 Dutch. I've watched these youngsters bowl for a long time now. We have Isaac Erickson, Ashley Sham, Tony Lutz, Colby Bennett, and Ryan Graham. They are bowling, let's see here. I see Preston Williams, I see Morgan Gitlitz, I see Michael Liu. I believe it's, I don't know if it's Johan or Johan or Gamo. Mike. Touch him on the shoulder, have him come here. Yeah. How do you pronounce your name? Huh? How do you pronounce your name? Johan Gamo. Yes. Thank you. All right, yes, it's Johan Gamo. Lord knows I'm like the worst person in the world with names, pronouncing them.
Don't worry, I'm right behind you.
Ah.
That's the scratch in that order. And that's the handicap in that order. And the 1 and 2 have a bye. Okay?
All right, I got some names in front of me. For the scratch, your number 1 seed, 222 Dutch, Isaac Erickson, Ashley Sham, Tony Lutz, Colby Bennett, Ryan Graham. Your number 2 seed, they are to the right on lanes 45 and 46. We have Oakwood lanes of Ryan Carlisi, Nick Lampanelli, Dan Kenny, Francis Vitelli, Chris DePaula. Some really good names there. The 3 seed, Howell lanes number 2, Justin Bone, Tom Burns, Ryan Taylor, Joey Ocello, Brandon Bone. Actually, that was Howell Lanes number 1. And the number 4 seed, Howell Lanes number 2, you see them on the live stream on 43 and 44. Morgan Getlitz, Marissa, Constantine, Johan Gamo, Preston Williams, Michael Liu. Those are your scratch teams. I hope I didn't butcher too many names. we'll send it over to Matt. We'll get everything started, then we'll do the handicap.
Have your attention, please. Time to introduce our teams for the first round of for the scratch division, the semifinals, and for the quarterfinals for the handicap. On the right pairs, for scratch, we have the number 1 seed, 222 Dutch Lanes, and number 4 seed, Howell Lanes, number 2. They are bowling on 43 and 4. Right off to the right on 45 and 6, we have number 2 seed, Oakwood Lanes, and number 3 seed, Howell Lanes. The winners of these one-game matches will advance to bowl each other for the title. On the left side, on the handicap side over here, in the first matches, we have number 3 seed, Shell Lanes number 2, taking on Palmyra Bowling Center. That is on 41 and 2. Right off to your left, on 39 and 40, we have number 4 seed, Cypress Lanes Girls, bowling number 5 seed, Hudson Lanes. Winners of these 2 matches will advance to bowl our 2 top seeds based on seeding 1 and 2. The winners of those semifinal matches will then bowl each other for the title. Okay? All right, bowling fans, let's give a nice hand for all of our finalists for the Bowling Center Championship.
All right, and away we go. Quickly, on the handicap side, your number 1 seed, Jersey Lanes, they have a bye. Jonathan Applewhite, Azante Warren, Quinn Lawrence, Austin Torres, and, whoa, what was that? And Jaheen Collins. Number 2 seed, Howell Lanes, they also have a bye. Sydney Bone, Elizabeth Brogna, Jordan Schaefer, Jake Bennett, RJ Carbone. Your number 3 seed, you'll see them on 41 and 42. Shell Lanes, number 2. Julietta Cologne, Ariel Luna, Christina Cologne, Massimo Caruso, thank you. And Jacob, yeah, right.
That was a guess, by the way.
Yeah, Villaranga, okay. Your number 4 seed, Cypress Lanes Girls, they are off on lanes 39 and 40. Amber Curran, Michaela Wien, Rachel Chuma, Ariel Searfoss, and Allie McGinley. I'm sure I butchered most of those names. Your 5th seed, Hudson Lanes, Brandon Crawford, Ramesh Persaud, Jared Maldonado, Joffrey Origines, and Javon Persaud. And your number 6 seed, Palmyra, you see them on 41 and 42. Nicole Ristenbat, Alex Dugan, Karen Boyd, Rebecca Branningen, and Jaden Swisher. In your 3-6 match, Shell Lanes will be getting 96 pins. And in the other match, wow, Cypress Lanes Girls will be getting 222 pins. So that's a lot of pins that Hudson Lanes are going to have to make up. We'll see if they could come back from a 22-mark deficit to start. Joining me in the, we gotta get like a sponsor for this broadcast booth.
Something.
Yes. Joining us in the Oscar Minor Wiener broadcast booth. How about we'll make up a new one every week?
That's fine.
Yes.
We could go with Arby's since, you know, I did leave a...
Yes, we had Arby's for lunch. So joining us in the Arby's broadcast booth, the man who needs no introduction, but we're going to introduce him anyway.
I don't care what they think.
The man, the myth.
Arby's, I mean.
The man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Skip Moyer. How you doing, Skip?
Good afternoon, sir. It's good to be back here again at Parkway Lanes. Just another wonderful day here. It's a little bit of a long one, this tournament, but it'll all work itself out at the end of the day.
Yes.
And then we'll probably wind up going back to Arby's.
Arby's or maybe Steak and Shake or something.
Not a bad idea.
Yes.
In-N-Out.
I wish there was an In-N-Out burger around here.
Never been to one. Always heard
me
good
either.
things.
Yes. Maybe next week that's who will sponsor us.
They should.
Yes. We're going to plug them. All right, so let's see here. Howell Lanes in the scratch division started out with a hanging, 4 strikes and a spare. So we had a pretty good turnout. What was it, 33 teams?
33 teams, 165 bowlers.
This is one of the more popular events each and every year.
Yeah, really good opportunity for bowling centers to send their bowlers out. And winners today in each division will receive a $500 bonus for their junior program in their center. So,
yes,
little extra added bonus.
Yes, I will say, since you and I are both tell it like it is, I'm a little disappointed that certain teams from our area had no entries. And
Yeah,
you know who we're talking about.
We're gonna have to look into that.
Yes. Ryan Graham doing something that I don't think I've ever seen him do before.
He got a strike on the second ball, though. That's
Yes,
what counts.
that he did.
Same as a 9 spare.
That it is.
You are currently watching Shell Lanes and Palmyra Bowl on the left pair, 222 Dutch and Howell Lanes on the right pair. Handicap on the right, scratch on the left. Flip that. Handicap on the left, scratch on the right.
You'll be okay.
Just sort of taking in some of the bowling here as we go. Not a whole ton to comment on right now. We're very early in our 5-on-5 matches here. Certainly want to thank everybody for joining us today. We're going to let them get a couple frames in here and then give you guys some scoring updates right around the 4th, 5th, and 6th frame. see where everybody's at. Next weekend, we will be right back here again, here at Parkway Lanes for our 21 and under doubles. And also the Buddies Pro Shop adult tournament will be here also. And so will Chloe Skrzinski, sitting next to me, looking at me and staring. Pretty even matches here on our live stream right now. 2-pin difference for the scratch side. And we have about an 80-pin difference on the handicap side, but that's with the handicap included, and it's only at the end of frame number 2. So, like I said earlier, it really doesn't help us to give you guys updates because a lot of things can change with all the bowlers we have out there. So, we're just gonna take in some of the bowling here for now and give you guys updates as we go along. All 4 of our matches are completed with their second frame. After this match, these set of matches here in the handicap division, the number 1 and number 2 seeds will come back in, will join us rather, and they will bowl, the number 1 seed will bowl the lowest winning team remaining, and then the second seed will bowl the other team. But our next match in the scratch division will be our title match. 41, 42, 43, and 44 are our featured pairs today.
So, Skip, I'm spanning these teams, and hopefully we get a chance. Unfortunately, I can't really turn these cameras because that just messes up everything. But if the Cypress girls teams win, I will say we will have the potentially the youngest and the shortest PJBT winner of all time.
I agree.
I do not know what her name is, but she looks like she's about 5.
Yes. Nice to see some of our younger youth coming out today in bowling.
Seems like off camera on the scratch side, Oakwood Lanes has jumped out to a 50-pin lead fairly early. So far, they're clean, almost through 3 frames.
Pretty even match on the scratch pair here on 43 and 44. No real fireworks there yet.
All right, so after 3 frames on the handicap match on 41 and 42, Shell Lanes is up by about 65 over Palmyra with their handicap. So Palmyra has cut about 30 pins. And after 4 frames on the other handicap match, Cypress Lanes has about 170 pin lead on Hudson. So Hudson's cut about 50 pins or so off of that. And over on the scratch match that's not on our featured pairs, Oakwood Lanes has about a 40 pin lead on Howell Lanes number 1. They are just about done with their 4th frame. On the scratch match that's right in front of us on 43 and 44 is basically a dead even match between 222 Dutch and Howell Lanes number 2.
Over on the off-screen scratch side, Howell Lanes has clawed back to get within 30 pins of Oakwood. It is still a 2-pin match on our feature pair here, 222 Dutch and Howell Lanes 2. Shell Lanes with the 70-pin lead so far. And Cypress Lanes, the Cypress Lanes girls team with a 190-pin lead currently through just about 5 frames. there's not really much to say in a 5-person team match till later. So. Just staying awake.
All right, so we're just about through 5 lanes on the handicap match on 41 and 42. Shell Lanes will have a 74-pin lead over Palmyra Bowling Center. Palmyra cutting in only about 3 marks into Shell's handicap advantage. Over in the other handicap match, Cypress Lanes with a dwindling lead. They only are up by about 130 pins now over Hudson Lanes. They're just about through 6 frames. On the scratch side, still a close match between, on our feature pair, 222 Dutch and Howell Lanes. Howell Lanes with roughly a 20-pin lead. And in the other match, Oakwood Lanes with about a 35-pin lead over Howell Lanes number 1. They are just about through 6 frames as well.
All of our matches are currently in the 7th frame. Still a pretty much dead even match here in front of us. 222 Dutch and Howell Lanes on the right side. 20-pin lead for Oakwood over Howell Lanes #1 on the off-screen scratch match. Cypress girls are currently up right around 120 on the off-screen handicap lane. And here in front of us on 41 and 42, it's about a 50-pin lead for Shell Lanes.
I'm sorry. Blocking the views. I'm always told I'm a better door than a window. Cypress Lanes. Her father just came over to me and said she's 7 years old. So if he wants to say that on there. Oh, here he comes. I was supposed to tell you Michaela is 7. 7 years old. He said that if you were talking
talking about.
Yes, we were.
Yes.
7 years old, Michaela is.
Yes,
I guess
overheard
that would not make her the youngest winner.
No.
By the way, the Saints are taking the Rams to the woodshed. They're up by 21 before half.
I took the Saints.
Good for you.
I'm assuming you did not.
I did not. So on the handicap match that's off screen for Hudson Lanes, Joffrey, see here, I don't have his last name in front of me. He's presently on 5 in a row. He's up now in the 8th frame trying to make it 6 in a row. And he does. Hudson Lanes is closing in on Cypress. Cypress with about a 40-pin lead with 2 frames to go. In the other handicap match on the live stream, Shell Lanes is holding on to a 65-pin lead or so over Palmyra. On the scratch matches right in front of us, Howell Lanes and 222 Dutch still battling at it. That's a 1 mark gain. They're up in frame 9. They've been close throughout, Skip.
What's that?
Said that match has been close throughout.
It has not been more than 10 pins since the first frame.
And in the other match, Oakwood is back out to about a 50-pin lead or so.
Yeah, they're starting to check out a little bit.
Yes, but Howell Lanes does have some bowlers on some doubles. So it looks like the scratch batch in front of us will be the first ones to get done. They're in their last bowlers of the 9th frame.
And it will come down to the last bowler in the 10th frame.
It could very well. Ryan Graham leaving a stone 10 pin. That would have given him a much needed double.
Yeah, they're gonna, if Michael Liu strikes here, they're gonna be down.
Yes.
It's gonna be the first time they're gonna be down more than about 15 to 20, so.
Yes. Liu working on a 4-bagger, trying to make it 5. And he does. You know, Howell Lanes always represents here each and every year, Skip.
Absolutely. They won last year.
Yes, they did.
The winning team is actually the team on our far right on the off screens up there.
And then we have the Flyers right in front of us.
Yeah, they're awful.
All right, so down to the 10th frame we go on 43 and 44. Isaac Erickson up first. He gets the first ball in the 10th. Both of the bowlers that are up are on spares.
Over on the far left match here, over on the handicap side, Hudson Lanes has caught up to Cypress Lanes.
Yes, they have.
Going to be an interesting match to keep an eye on.
Morgan Getlitz gets 7. She leads the 1-2-8.
Ashley Sham here is going to have one of the bigger shots here for 222 Dutch. She
Yes.
is the only bowler with the opportunity to double, so
Yes.
that first strike is going to be big for their team.
Half hit 10 there for Isaac. I'd say 222 Dutch might be up against it a little bit right now. Howell Lanes has 2 bowlers on 4 or 5 in a row, but Morgan opens. She shoots 151. Isaac Erickson will be in the 190s. Six count for Marissa.
Making it a little interesting here.
And Ashley crosses over for a double.
Jeffrey up now for Hudson Lanes, looking for a 7-bagger. He comes up high, leaves the 310.
Marissa makes her spare.
That was a big spare there for them after
Yes.
the open frame before.
That's a better shot there for Ashley. That's 10 back. Okay, Marissa gets 8 for a very respectable 194. Ashley should be in the 170s. She gets 9 on her fill shot, 172. So temporarily, 222 Dutch goes back in front by a mark. Now, the thing is with these scores, you could program them a different way. Now, I know during my time with these scoring machines, if you were on a double, you could get 60 pins in the 10th. And if you were on a spare, you could get 40 pins in the 10th. Johan leaves a 2-8. Tony Lutz with the first one. So 222 Dutch doing exactly what they need to do. All 3 of their bowlers now are on at least gotten the first strike. Spare there for...
Spares are good right now for Howell because they have the firepower down below.
Yes.
So they do have Michael Liu on a 5-bagger.
Oh, ringing 10 there for Tony. Johan will be, I believe, in the 2 teens.
Yes.
Yes. Well, 212 with a strike. Tony will be around, he'll be in the low 180s. Tony makes his spare. All right, so right now on the scoreboard, it's a 16-pin lead for 222 Dutch. I believe, like I said with the scoring, if 222 Dutch is up by more than 20, there's nothing Howell could do to shut them out. Preston leads a very tricky 2-5-8. Let's see what the reigning PIAA state champion could do for 222 Dutch, Colby Bennett. Ten back.
Each bowler for 222 Dutch struck on the first ball, so
yes.
that could come in huge.
Preston did make his spare. We are into the 10th frame on the handicap match that is off camera. Cypress Lane still holding roughly a 15-pin lead. Let's see what Preston could do on his fill shot. That's 10. You notice though, Skip, nobody on Howell Lanes has struck their first ball in the 10th.
No, they have not.
Where every bowler on 222 Dutch has. I don't know if you saw that with everybody standing. That was one wicked messenger there for Colby to double up.
I did not see that. What did he trip out? 10-pin?
Yes. So they will have more than a 20-pin lead coming down to the final bowler. So, again, if these scoring systems works the way I've always known them to, there is nothing that Michael Liu could do to shut out 222 Dutch. Colby comes in high, leaves the 4-6-7, so they're up by 25.
It will be up to the anchor bowlers here.
Yep.
Michael Liu and
just
Ryan
like
Graham.
You said.
Absolutely. Makes complete sense. Michael Liu up first.
That was a big shot there from Michael. That went 10 back. Let's see if Ryan Graham can match. And he does not. He leaves a 3-6-10. That quickly, the match flips. Now, the best 222 Dutch could shoot is, I believe, 962.
And I think 970 for Howell, not?
I believe 970 for Howell. So, big shot here from Michael. And 10 back in the pit. That is exactly what an anchor bowler is supposed to do, Skip. Ryan Graham does make his spare. Yeah, so I believe Michael just needs to keep the ball in the middle. He better not do what Marshall Holman suggested if you were watching the U.S. Open, leave the big 5.
Yeah, I hate it when that happens.
Although the big 5 would be more than enough. All right, Michael Liu with the 4, 5, 6, 7 bottom, last 8. and they will advance. All right, quickly over to the handicap match on 39 and 40. Cyprus is still holding on. They have a 1-mark lead. Their anchor bowler is up in the 10th. She goes 10 back. We're still waiting for Joffrey to bowl. I don't know if he's waiting for Allie to get done or not. There is nothing that Cyprus could do that will shut out Hudson. Hudson could still shoot 817. Big shot, though, for Allie. All right, she comes in high, leaves us 610. I believe they will be at 795 with a spare. Quickly back over to the other scratch match. We got Howell Lane's number 1 holding on to about a 30-pin lead or so. They're halfway through the 10th.
That was a pretty big lead for Oakwood earlier, and it is now gone.
Yes. Yes, it was.
Over on the handicap side, it looks like if Hudson Lanes can stay clean, they got a shot at this.
760. Well, they're 80.
They need 50.
Yeah, I mean, they need 48 pins in 2 bowlers.
And they have the extra 20 on the spare, so.
So they could get 70 pins if both bowlers strike out. Their bowler that's up now is on an open. Their 5th bowler is on a spare, and that's a strike for Joffrey on his first shot. Looks like Howell has roughly about a 10-pin lead. Joey Ocello up for Oakwood. If he strikes, it's a 10-pin lead for Howell with 2 bowlers to go. Both teams have 1 bowler that is at least on a double. So that match is within 1 mark. Dan Kenny up for Oakwood. He gets his strike. It was Dan Kenny that was bowling for Oakwood. All right, so Howell up by 10. Joey Ocello up for Howell. And he trips a 9-pin from behind. Back over here to the handicap. Jeffrey up, taking his sweet old time. And he sends a messenger across on that 10-pin. That was a very big shot for them. So let's see if he strikes. They have 67. 67, 84, 91. So, I mean,
we need a mark.
77 and 9, 86. Actually, if their bottom bowler, he could go, if Jeffrey strikes their bottom bowler, I believe could go 9 miss, and they'd win by a stick. Over here on the handicap match that's in front of us, Shell Lanes holding their. Shell Lanes is actually going to win this match. The best Palmyra could do is 719. Shell
already
has 723, so they're fine. Shell will be moving on. All right, Jeffrey got 7, so that's 774.
Joey Ocello just went right through the head pin, and they all went left and right. All spin around.
So since he got 7, Javon will need a mark here in the 10th. I believe. And he misses the head pin right, so he gets 7.
That could be trouble. He's got to make this.
We have to change that score, I believe.
No, there's 6 up there.
Is there a 6 up there?
Yep.
Okay. So yes, no, he has to make this spare.
It's the 1, 2, 7, 8.
Okay. He definitely has to make this spare. And then he's going to need to get 5. The Marshall Holman 5.
Yeah, that must be the big 5.
Yes. And Javon does not make the spare, and Cypress Lanes will advance with a 794-789 victory over Hudson Lanes. Wow. So we got a 5-pin match there. We got a 9-pin match here. Looks like Howell is going to win here. The best Oakwood could shoot is 999. Howell is already just about there. And actually, I believe here if Palmyra strikes out, that ends up being a 3-pin match as well. That'll be a 13-pin match. All right, so it's going to be Howell Lanes number 1 against Howell Lanes number 2 in the finals for scratch. That'll be on 41 and 42. We have 2 matches on the handicap side still to go. On the main screen, on the feature pair 43 and 44, it should be the number 1 seed Jersey Lanes against the number 5 seed, the 4 seed Cypress Lanes. And then the number 2 seed Howell Lanes going up against the number 3 seed Shell Lanes. So Matt, it's Jersey and Cypress on 43 and 44. Cypress and Jersey on the main ones. The Cypress wasn't on the game before. All right, that was some really good bowling. Let's see here. The number 4, in the scratch side, the number 4 seed Howell Lanes number 2 with a 970 to 961 victory over the number 1 seed 222 Dutch. And Howell Lanes number 1, the number 3 seed, with a 1,012 to 976 victory over the number 2 seed Oakwood Lanes. On the handicap side, we have number 3 seed Shell Lanes number 2 defeating the number 6 seed Palmyra, 732 to 712. And the number 4 seed Cypress Lanes defeating the number 5 seed Hudson Lanes, 794 to 789. So, I believe the next matches we will have the finals of the scratch on 41 and 42. And on 43 and 44 should be the number 1 seed Jersey Lanes and the number 4 seed Cypress Lanes. And on 45 and 46 will be the number 3 seed, the number 2 seed Howell Lanes against the number 3 seed Shell Lanes.
Where's Josh? Okay, bowling fans, if I can have your attention, we're going to give out our awards for that round of the Bowling Center Championship. Starting with the scratch division. Where's Josh?
I don't know, he said he'd be back and then he left.
He needs help.
Joshua. He didn't hear me.
Okay, officially our 4th place finishers on the scratch division. Each bowler receiving a $40 scholarship, certificate, and medal goes to Oakwood Lanes, Ryan Carlisi, Nick Campanelli, Dan Kenny, Francis Vitelli, and Chris Topola.
All right, your official 4th place finishers today, Oakwood Lanes in the scratch division.
Okay, and officially our 3rd place finishing team in the scratch division. Each bowler getting a $40 scholarship, certificate, and medal goes to the team of 222 Dutch Lanes, Isaac Erickson, Ashley Shand, Tony Look, Colby Bennett, and Ryan Graham.
All right, your 3rd place finishers today in the scratch, 222 Dutch.
for 5th and 6th. Our 6th place finishing team, each bowler receiving a $40 scholarship, goes to the team of Palmyra Bowling Center. Nicole Ristenbutt, Alex Dugan, Kara Boyd, Rebecca Bridegan, and Jalen Swisher.
All right, the official 6th place team today, Palmyra Bowling Center.
And our 5th place finishing team in this handicap tournament, each receiving a $40 scholarship, is the team from Hudson Lanes. Brandon Crawford, Ramesh Prasad, Jared Donato, Jeffrey, and Ron Prashad. Okay, it is time to start the title match for the scratch division. Ironically, it will be Howell Lanes number 1 against Howell Lanes number 2 on 41 and 2. Okay, for our other matches, handicap. Okay, 43 and 44 will be Jersey Lanes, our number 1 seed, against Cypress Lanes girls. 45 and 6 will be Howell Lanes against Shell Lanes number 2. Okay, Owen, you need to report there, please. You get 2 balls of practice on each lane. You may change surface if needed during practice only. Okay, I'll come around and change the names while you're practicing.
All right, so as we're setting up for the finals in the scratch division and the semifinals in the handicap division, have some few announcements. First, those of you that at least live in the Reading, Lancaster, York, Harrisburg area of Pennsylvania, I'm sure that you heard last week there was a terrible accident right outside of Warwick High School. Couple of the students at Warwick lost their lives. One of the youngsters was at one time a member of the Warwick bowling team. His name was Rylan Beebe. Oh, he was. Sorry, he was one of the ones that were in the car, but still survived. My apologies. He sustained some pretty serious injuries. There is going to be a fundraiser for him at 222 Dutch Lanes on November the 24th. Is that a Saturday? November the 24th from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock. Yeah. For the blind people that can't see, I got to get the brightness turned up on the phone. Thank you. All right, this is a fundraiser to support the family of Rylan Beebe in an effort to raise funds to ease the financial hardship due to the long-term recovery costs. During this event, there will be gift baskets, gift card raffles, bowling ball raffles, and 50-50 raffles. To reserve your spots, or if you have any questions, contact Cole Snavely. Am I seeing that right? Cole Snavely at Warrior Strong Fundraiser 18@gmail.com. That's Warrior Strong Fundraiser 18@gmail.com. Even if you're not interested in bowling, please stop in to show your support for Rylan. All right, so that will be on
Saturday, November the 24th, from 2 to 4 at 222 Dutch Lanes. The cost is $15 per person. Shoe rental is free for those that need to have bowling shoes. Anybody and everybody is invited to attend, regardless of your bowling skill. It's time to come out and have some fun and bring the community together after this tragic event that happened about 10 days ago now or so in front of Warwick High School. All right, for PJBT, next week we are right back out here at Parkway Lanes. There is 2 tournaments going on. The first is at 10:30. That is a doubles tournament for our junior bowlers. Something we do every year. We're always out here for the team tournament. Then we come back right out here for Parkway the very next week for the doubles tournament. And also, that same day, our next Buddies Pro Shop adult tournament. I believe that's a noon start time. I do not have the flyer in front of me.
His things are high, Toby. He's okay.
Can I stand?
That, as long as the bottom of your head catches that.
So I'm good here.
No, because you'll block me.
So sit in the seat.
So,
Sit here on the floor.
you're more than welcome to come back here and stuff.
Now I gotta.
Coach?
Yeah. I got the 7-year-old.
What?
My daughter's the 7-year-old.
Shit. So he has to be on top of her.
She just finished her 12th game in 2 days. She bowled 6 yesterday in
I
practice.
can't even do that.
All right. Then the week after that, it's the adult junior major down at. Oh, thank you, Skip. The adult junior major down at Limerick Lanes, Limerick Bowl, in Limerick, Pennsylvania. Any and all information on these tournaments can be found at our website at www.pjbtbowlingseries.com, on our Facebook page, PJBT Youth Information page. Reminder for these doubles events, we do allow a discount if you sign up for the doubles that are next Sunday. If you sign up by midnight tonight, you do receive a discount. All you got to do is put a $20 deposit down. And next week, it's going to be the same. By midnight next Sunday, if you put a $20 deposit down, you get the discount for the adult junior tournament down at Limerick. And then after that, where are we Thanksgiving weekend?
Hampton Lanes, right? About 10 minutes.
And on Thanksgiving Sunday, we are at Hampton Lanes. We haven't been to Hampton for a little while. We're going back this year.
It's been a long time.
The last time we were at Hampton Lanes, it's funny, I remember they had a sign outside of Hampton Lanes. The night before we were there, they had midget wrestling. Remember that? Midget wrestling at Hampton Lanes. Is this for me? Thank you. I appreciate that. I could always use more money into my scholarship fund.
Holiday's right around the corner.
Did you win?
50-30.
Son of a biscuit. You could thank me because I bought ticket 19.
That's too expensive for me.
I knew 20 had to be a winner.
Did you push it so you knew it was 20, or did you see I had 19?
I just took a stab at it.
You just pushed it. Well, you could buy dinner tonight.
Forget that. That's way too out of my league.
We're going to Sizzler on Skip.
I'm going to buy every single Arby's sandwich they have now.
Play that much.
We're going to Sizzler. We're going to Sizzler.
I think Arby's might be just about closing time by the time we get out of here.
No, you could eat great even late.
Don't lean on that. That poor thumb.
So we have a treat for you now that Cypress Lanes has won their first match and they're on 43 and 44. We have little 7-year-old Madeline, was that her name?
I thought it was Michaela.
Michaela, you are correct, Michaela. I had the M right. Her dad came up and told me this is going to be her 12th game in 2 days. You can't even bowl 12 games in 2 days anymore.
I don't even know if I can bowl 12 games in a week. Let's be realistic. She's a little firecracker, though. She's ready to go.
She is. After the semifinals are over, the finals, the handicap teams will move back to 41 and 42 for the finals. We'll try to do some table moving, camera shifting, and so on and so forth.
We'll just make them use 42 and 43.
That's a good idea. So by the way, I posted on my Facebook page this week, the PA Fats Facebook page. For those of you that may have watched the finals of the U.S. Open Tuesday night, raise your hands if you were watching. For those of you youngins, the color commentator, the so-called professional that was on there was Marshall Holman. Now, back in his day, Marshall Holman was a pretty good bowler. I could honestly admit I was not a fan of his. During the one match, the gentleman needed a 6 count to win. It was, what's his name? The guy that ended up climbing the ladder.
Don Barrett.
Yes, Don Barrett, yes. He needed a 6 count to win. So Marshall Holman said he'll probably throw the ball straight, because if he hooks it, he has a chance to leave the big 5. Now, so my question to all you Facebook fans out there, YouTube fans out there, can anybody tell me what the big 5 is? Other than my one friend Jeff, he posted, well, yeah, it's Villanova, St. Joe's.
I don't think those are the
Drexel.
big 5 he was looking for.
That's the only, and he's true. That's the only big 5 I know. So if anybody out there in YouTube land could tell me what in the world Marshall Holman was talking about when he said that Don Barrett could leave the Big Five,
Rachel, come on.
I would surely love to know.
I'm going to take to Twitter with this conundrum.
No, Kayla, it is not the Greek church. The Greek church is called the Greek church. By the way, can anybody guess what the other name for the Greek church is? Like the 4, 6, 7, 9, 10. What about when it's the 4, 6, 7, 8, 10? What's that called? Go ahead, Matthew.
It's called Go Ahead Matthew?
Maybe it's the Polish church.
Maybe.
It could be the Matthew. It could be.
Finals for handicap. On the scratch side, we have number 3 seed Howell Lanes number 1 taking on number 4 seed Howell Lanes number 2 for the title of the winner of the 7th annual Bowling Center Championship in scratch. Okay? On the handicap side, you'll see one of the 2 matches. We have number 1 seed Jersey Lanes. Taking on number 4 seed Cypress Lanes Girl. That'll be here on 43 and 4. The difference in handicap 107 going to Cypress Lanes. Okay? Off to the pair to your right, which we will update you on. The number 2 seed Howell Lanes taking on number 3 seed Shell Lanes number 2.
All right, so our handicap for these Cypress Lanes girls will be getting 107 pins, and Shell Lanes number 2 will be getting 82 pins.
We're going to have to ask Parker what the Big Five is.
Yes. Desmond, it is possible, but I've never heard it called that, and Lord knows I've been alive since right after the Civil War ended. I will say Jersey Lanes brought a very large contingent.
They're ready to go.
Yes, they are. All right. This is what you've been waiting for. 7-year-old Michaela Wien. I believe that is how you pronounce her last name. Auspicious start. Seven for Michaela. Quinn does not convert his 4-pin. Austin leaves himself a 4-pin. We'll see if he can convert that. Rachel trying to convert the 1-3, which she does.
Thanks, because I can't see.
Austin misses his 4-pin. Ariel, I believe that is how you pronounce her name, up on 44. She leaves a weak 10-pin.
And our scratch match is underway.
Right? Yes.
This is Jaheim Collins. He leaves himself the 1-2-4. Ariel makes her 10-pin. Allie McGinley left a 4-7. Amber now up on frame 2. She leaves a 10-pin. Allie does not make her spare. Over on the scratch side, Howell Lane's number 1 with a slow start. Strike open, open. Howell Lane's number 2 with 2 spares. Johan up. He goes, trips the 7, gets a strike. Azante, I believe that's how you pronounce his name. He You're fine. All right, Tommy Burns up lane 42, shooting at his baby split. Converts it. That's an opening turkey for Jonathan Applewhite. Michaela with a strike. All right, over on the other handicap match that is not on the stream, Howell Lane starts out strong. They've already chopped about 50 pins of that 82 off the lead. Also remember, ladies and gentlemen, our message board is live and operational. Feel free to chime in. Any questions, any comments, I'll try to do my best to answer them. If you like what you see, if this is your first time joining us, feel free to hit that subscribe button up the upper right-hand part of your page. As long as you have notifications enabled, you will get notified each and every time we go live on the Pennsylvania Junior Bowlers Tour. Over in the scratch title match, lead is less than 10 for Howell Lane's number 2 after 2 frames. This is Brandon Bone finishing up. That's a double for Brandon. His brother Justin now up to start frame number 3. He's on a double. It was Morgan Getlitz on lane 42. She was a semifinalist last week in our combined JBT PJBT tournament right up the road here at Jordan Lanes. Applewhite with the front four. Let's see, this is Amber shooting at a 2.7. And she, oh, I thought she made that. All right, let's see what Michaela could do. She's working on a strike up in frame number 4. See if she could do better on shot number 2. Marissa over here on 42. She converts her 3-6-10. All right, let's see here. We're finishing up frame 3 in the Scratch Championship match. Michael Liu up. He's the anchor bowler. That's a double for him. Howell Lane's number 1 up by about 30 pins on Howell Lane number 2. Our 2 handicap matches. We go on to frame number 5. Cyprus with a roughly 3-mark lead over Jersey. And in the other handicap match, we have Shell Lane's number 2 with the same roughly 3-mark lead on Howell Lane's. That's Applewhite with the front 5. Crowd goes nuts. Strike for, I believe you pronounce it Azanti, but that's how we'll go. And that's 4 in a row for Quinn. I'd say Jersey Lanes has come to bowl. All right. Giving us a few minutes today in the, let's see, we're calling it the Arby's broadcast booth today since we had lunch from Arby's.
Well, there you go.
Yes. PBA Hall of Famer and watching his 3 youngins bowl right now, Parker Bone III. Thanks for stopping by, my friend.
Well, thanks for having me stop in the booth here.
Yes. How's everything going?
Well, I'd say on an overall basis it's going pretty good. Whenever you can sit in the back and you can watch your kids compete when things unfold, and well, on the boys' side, we got our 2 sons are sitting here bowling for the title match in the scratch division, but I'll say our daughter's over here bowling in the bracket, part of the 4 teams that are left in the handicap division, so
Yes.
she's super excited as well.
Excellent. So what are you up to these days?
Actually, kind of laying a little bit on the low side right now. Just watching kids bowl, formulate, doing some stuff that I need to do for Brunswick there. Staying busy with that. And, well, like most other people, getting ready for holidays that are be gearing up here.
Yes.
And then after Thanksgiving, actually my 2 boys mainly, but our sons and myself have been invited to a big tournament over in Malaysia. Justin with the front 5. I have to be honest, he has not had more than a triple all day.
Well, he knows when to step it up.
He's certainly been fighting it, that's for sure.
Yes. Some pretty good crowd we have here today. They're very animated.
I'll tell you what, there was, I don't know, how many teams? 30-something teams? 32 or 33 teams?
33.
And 33 5-man or 5-person teams. And to be honest, it was, I'll say, 1 notch below a college-level bowling event.
Yes, I would agree with that.
The excitement that was going on, watching everybody get into it, it was really unbelievable.
Justin up here looking for.
Yeah.
Now,
He's
so let's set the stage here. Justin just came back here and he was talking to you. Now he's on the front 5.
Yeah.
And he just asked you about something. Should I adjust? I believe.
He did, because he went real high and tripped out the 4-7.
Okay.
Marissa Constantini throwing a great shot, leaving a solid 7 there. Yeah, so he decided to go a little bit high and trip out the 4-7, and now he's going to ask me for advice. Actually, he's somewhat been trying to listen, I'll say, most of the day, although it did not turn out as good as he would have liked it to until now. But the ironic thing is, believe it or not, and I know that they're bowling more formulated fresh than not, believe it or not, he has gone back to the ball that I told him to start the day with.
No way.
Yeah, can you believe that? Something to that.
Yes.
But he's the player. I'm just a coach in the back. Actually, I'm just dad.
Yes. Yes.
So what do we have for a match here in the scratch portion?
Well, looks like Howell has. There are a couple bowlers ahead right now, but looks like they got about a 5 or 6 mark lead at the moment.
Well, if I'm looking at the scratch side, at least from personal perspective, I like the fact that Howell's going to win. I mean,
yes.
There might be something to that, being as I grew up there and I still bowl there currently.
That's a possibility. I mean, as I was telling Josh before, I mean, Howell always comes to this tournament ready to bowl.
You know,
every year.
The junior program that we have at Howell Lanes, you know, hats off to Neil Feingold, Charlie Anderson, Mark Gold, the entire staff there. They have really allowed Leslie to take the bull by the horns. And between all of their staff there and what Leslie puts into it, that league has grown exponentially. This year there's 32 teams in the league and 3 bowlers on a team across the center on a Friday night.
Excellent.
So there's not too many junior programs for one league that have 96 bowlers in them.
No.
So when the opportunity comes up to bowl this tournament here, you know, bluntly, everybody's itching. Gee, can I bowl? Can we bowl? Can we be on a team? Can we be a part of this? And so it only makes sense that Howell would have a fairly big presence in the PJBT this weekend.
Now, I believe, you know, we're in season number 20 now of the Pennsylvania Junior Bowlers Tour, and I believe you've been around for all 20.
Just, if not 19 of them.
Yes.
You know, it's really enthusiastic knowing and watching in the background, seeing what goes on. The bowlers that I've seen throughout the years, and I'll say it, you know, some of those bowlers now are young adults, maybe adults that have gotten married, and they may even have a younger son or daughter that's bowling in the PJBT series now that's 10 or 11, and they come up to me and say, yeah, I remember when you came to the first event. So I look at them and go, wait a minute, yeah, that's right, I am getting that old now. Just look in the mirror, I got a couple less hairs and a couple of them are gray. So, but it's really awesome the way that you guys have grown throughout the years.
Yes.
And the PJBT is just it's an unbelievable junior bowling series. Tell you what, Jersey Lanes, this handicap team is really enthusiastic getting into it.
Yes, they are. They would be giving any of these scratch teams a run for their money right now.
Yeah, meanwhile, the other handicap part of the foursome going on over here, it looks like Howell Lanes has about a 20-pin lead at best. So that match is fairly close. We'll have to keep our eyes open down there on lanes 45 and 46.
Yes. So for all of our listeners out there, you know, for those that might be interested in getting involved in something like the Pennsylvania Junior Bowlers Tour, today's pattern like we don't do house shots on the Pennsylvania Juniors Bowler Tour. It's all either recreational pattern or sports pattern or Kegel challenge shot. Today was Abbey Road. It's a middle of the road pattern. What would you like if somebody who's 13, 14, and that's never bowled anything other than a house shot comes up to you and says, Parker, what do I need to do differently on stuff like this to get better as quickly as I can, other than just, to consistently throw on it?
Right. Well, the biggest thing, when you watch most bowlers that bowl on house shots, their mistake room, they have lined up in such a way that they can miss right or left by a fair amount of margin, okay? And typically, they can miss away from the pocket, and it will still come back. And when I say away, regardless of what hand you're throwing it with, you're throwing your ball away from the head pin and having the lane allow it to hook back. When you bowl on any sort of sport shot or formulated sport shot pattern, it really comes down to you have to hit your target in front of you for the most part. That's exactly the way that most of the sport shots are formulated. They want you to make a good pass. Regardless of how hard or how soft you throw the ball, you typically have to hit your target that's in front of you. Now, after the lanes have been bowled on for a game or two, once again, depending how many bowlers are on the pair, then the lane starts to transition or formulate into what the bowlers are going to make it. Sometimes it will formulate where they play a little bit further out. Sometimes it will formulate where they play a little bit further in. And depending what goes on with the pair or the pattern, since we're talking about a pair right now, this is really like league bowling with 10 bowlers on a pair.
Yes.
That's how you have to really pay attention to the transition that's going on within the center itself. And that's what it comes down to. The biggest thing with today, though, is it's team bowling.
Yes.
And a lot of these juniors, just like the PBA players ourselves, we bowl individual events all year long, and we're competing against one another. Okay, as your friend, maybe you ask your friend how a certain pair of lanes is playing or what's going on. But now the team that works together, that sticks it out together, that is there to pick each other up together, stands to go the furthest. I can certainly tell you right now, we're sitting here watching Howell Lane's number 1 bowl, Howell Lane's number 2. Justin has the front 6 right now. When I tell you he barely averaged 165 today, I kid you not.
Really?
And last match, he bowled 171. He bowled a pretty decent game. He hit the pocket quite a bit, just didn't strike. And we talked about 1 or 2 things that maybe he should try to do. But fortunately, he's made a lot of good passes at it. And you know what? For a change, he's getting rewarded for it.
And he's back.
Yeah.
I believe he's asking, should I move a little more left?
Yeah. But he's a little deeper than them, so he doesn't need to make quite as big a move, as long as he makes a reasonable pass at it.
But, I certainly know what you're saying now. I haven't bowled in a number of years, but I certainly know what you're saying about the difference between, bowling on a house pattern and, with the difference between that and bowling on one of these. My kid, he's not here today. He's now in college. He's down at that Southern Classic down in Georgia this weekend. Since he's a freshman in college this year, he decided not to bowl in any leagues. The money's just not there because, Dad's not fully supporting him anymore. He's got to learn it on his own. So, but he's subbing in a couple leagues. Now, he bowls out of Burke's Lanes, and let's just say Burke's Lanes' house shot isn't the most difficult. But after about 3 weeks of subbing, he comes home to me and he says, Dad, he goes, this nighttime bowling, this is easy. He's averaging 253. He's like, this nighttime bowling is easy. You just throw it.
Yeah.
And it just walks into the pocket. And he's right. With the bowling balls today, you have to know how to throw the ball, but, let's face it. The bowling balls today they help you out a lot more than when you first came out on tour or growing up at this age. Or
well, there's no question that the bowling balls today certainly hook a lot more. But when we say that, what you have to remember is when you go to play the game at a higher level of competition, and I'm going to say this event here is much higher level than what their typical junior league at home is, okay? Oils have become thicker.
Yep.
Lane surfaces have become harder. Lanes are maintained more with a machine rather than, let's say, a mop and a towel. And when you look at the sport patterns that the USBC has come out with and or tried to formulate, they've tried to make bowling more, I'll say, a pinch closer to what it was a while ago. And when we say a while ago, I'm not going to sit here and compare it to the 1930s, 40s, 50s, okay? But back to hitting a target and trying to get the right ball in your hand. The game itself, or the sport that we know it, has certainly changed in the science aspect of it. Now you need to formulate in your head what ball is going to allow you to understand the lane that's going to give you that marginal error, and the power that the ball can generate will scatter the pins around or maneuver them in such a way that it's not just the ball hits the pins and they fall down, that's it. Your head pin today is lively as can be. It comes off the wall. I heard a very well-known USBC Hall of Famer, Joe Norris, to mention a name, and most of our listeners probably don't know Joe Norris, but at one time he was the all-time pin leader in the USBC or ABC National Championships. He was asked, how much has the game changed from yesterday to today? He goes, well, I used to throw the ball yesterday and the ball would go over, and whatever it knocked over, it knocked over. Now when I throw the ball down the lane, the head pin goes to the left wall and it goes, did I miss anything? Did I miss anything? Did I miss anything? It hits all the other walls and continues to keep coming back. So that's the part of the game that is severely changed. When you watch players like Jason Belmonte, Jesper Svensson, Sean Rash, Tommy Jones, Ryan Simonelli, these players that can gain power on a bowling ball. Jason Couch, even though he doesn't bowl much more out on the tour. The power they generate on the ball, when it hits the pins light, oh my God.
Yes.
It is lively as can be, that head pin coming off the wall. Whereas a player, I'm going to say someone like myself, I want to see my ball get high flush. Well, any of the players that get their ball high flush, for the most part, high flush, when entered at the right angle, is going to knock them all over. It's when you have that miss room that you can miss a little bit and really maneuver the pins around. I'll tell you what, it makes a big difference.
That it does. I'll never forget, I like telling this story. You know, back in the day, I used to watch the tour when it was on TV each and every week. I grew up with it, either, on Saturday afternoons when it was on ABC with Schlenkel and Nelson Burton Jr., and then when it got more into ESPN, I'll never forget, I was a friend of mine who was just getting into bowling. This is going to be back in the mid-'90s, and I said, we're going to watch it tonight because this bowler, his name is Amoletto Monicelli, is going to be on tonight. And, well, you know what Amoletto could do back then in the 90s. Well, I tell you what, he was throwing, if I remember, his black rhino. He used to always throw back then. But that night, and I don't remember the gentleman's name, and it's a shame. I have to go back and look it up. But he was throwing this ball called the Excalibur. And he was out-hooking Amoletto Monicelli. Now, I've never seen anybody out-hook Amoletto Monicelli.
Might have been Mark McDowell when he won the Tournament of Champions.
That is true. And what is this thing called the Excalibur? I found it was this new resin bowling ball. Replaced urethane. Well, being me and who I was back then, I had to find one. So about a month later, I found one. Came up, I know you're going to know this name, had Frankie May drill it up for me.
Yep, yes I do.
Yes. I went over to Colonial Hills in Reading, where I worked at the time. I'm telling people, now you watch this ball hook. You watch what it does. I'm right-handed, Parker. I swear to God, I knocked down the 6-9-10 on my first shot. That ball didn't move a board.
And you're thinking, what kind of hook is this?
Yes. I threw maybe about 5 or 6 frames. I got Frankie on the phone. I'm like, what did you do? What did you do to this ball? It's supposed to be a hook monster.
Oh boy.
And he said, let it work in. It'll be fine. And he was right, you know. About another game or two, wow. Just when that ball came out, but every time a new ball, you know, when urethane came out, it revolutionized the game. Now, you know, what is it, starting next year, they're changing the rules on drilling and side weights or top weights or this weight, that
USBC
weight.
is eliminating the extra hole that you can have in a bowling ball. I believe you can still have it this season.
Yes.
Starting the 2020 season, you cannot have an extra hole in a bowling ball, but yet you're allowed up to 3 ounces of side weight. Finger weight, positive, thumb, you know, and for the average bowler listening to us, that's something, all you got to do is ask your pro shop guy. Your pro shop guy already has a lot of that configured in. They will certainly know how to make sure that your ball meets all those ramifications. And therefore, as a bowler, worry about one thing, rolling it down the lane and knocking over 10 pins.
Absolutely. Yep. All right, let's look at some of these scores here. Well, it looks like Howell Lane's #1 is out to a pretty decent-sized lead. Got a little bit over 100 pins. Justin is up in frame 8. He is on the front 7. He did not come back after the last frame and asked.
No, he must be confident about this 8th one.
Yes. On the handicap side, the match that is on our featured pair, Jersey Lanes, with roughly let's see, they're 2 bowlers ahead, so let's say roughly a 50 to 60 pin lead over Cypress. And on the handicap match that's off camera, that's a pretty close match. We have Shell Lanes presently on the scoreboard, they're up by about 1.5 marks. They got let's see here, they got 4 marks, and Howell only has 2, so they might be up, you know, 30, 35-ish.
Yeah, it's 30 or 35 pins for sure. But it's also the handicap side with 3 complete frames left. Almost anything can happen.
Absolutely.
Well, Justin didn't ask me my opinion, so I guess I can't be blamed for that one. That's a good thing.
So now you've been on Brunswick staff. Was it since the day you've basically come out on tour, or was it slightly thereafter?
No, it was not when I first came out on tour. I went out on tour in February of 1985.
Really?
Yes, I did. I made my first TV show in February of 1987.
Okay.
Won my first title in June of '87. And fortunately for me, I was offered to sign and become part of the Brunswick Pro staff in December of 1988 for starting tour in 1989.
Okay.
So I'll say this will wrap up my 29th year and or 30th year actually. So I've been with Brunswick for 30 years.
Wow.
And proud to say that I'm still with them. And you know, I make this clear statement to everyone around the world that I am one of the few guys that has, well, I'm the only guy actually that has more than 20 titles on tour that can say that I've won every single one of my titles with one brand of bowling ball.
Really?
Brunswick-made bowling ball.
Wow.
You know, guys jump ship. They go from one company to another for whatever the reasons. I'm certainly not going to put them down for it. They have their own reasons for doing it. But for me, I've been a part of Brunswick for all those years, and I can say that every one of my 35 titles has been won with a Brunswick branded bowling ball.
Okay. So I know you're really not supposed to, but can you give us maybe a little what might be coming down the pike, coming out from Brunswick that we might want to look for? Or I know they like to keep it hush hush, you know, until.
Well, probably, you know, for all of the listeners to know, it's not out yet, but it is coming out this week. And a lot of your listeners can really relate to this. We have a vintage series.
Mm-hmm.
And our vintage series bowling ball is something that we had in our line traditionally, roughly 15 years or older. And our new vintage series ball that's coming out next week is going to be the Vintage Vapor Zone.
The Vapor Zone.
The Blue Vapor Zone. You need to understand that this ball is cosmetically a very pretty ball. It looks really nice going down the lane, but probably one of the great things about it is it was a very high-end reactive bowling ball 25 years ago. And although it's not the big hook monster that you have on some of the balls today, it will certainly pick up and go through the pins where you're going to go, I remember that ball and I want to put one in my bag again.
I look forward to seeing it in action. I remember that ball. I could honestly say, back in my time of bowling, I carried a few Brunswick bowling balls. I was a big fan of the Rhino series myself.
Then you know all about it.
Probably not quite as good as you.
Well, okay, close. We'll give it close and we'll let it go at that. Well, as things are winding down here, we're going to sit here and watch them. I'm going to let you take over here and bring everything to a head because I got a feeling that I'm going to have some boys and girls that I'm going to hope are going to be happy.
Yes.
And if not, I'm going to try to make them happy.
All right. Well, thank you, Parker, for stopping in. Appreciate it.
Certainly is a pleasure. Do me a favor, please, for all the PJBT listeners that are out there at home. If you weren't out this week, please make sure you come out and participate in one of the events soon. But for everybody out there, if I don't get an opportunity to see you in one of the PJBT events sometime soon, please have a happy, healthy, and safe and prosperous holiday season.
Thank you, sir. Much appreciated.
Okay.
Happy holidays to you, too. Parker Bone, ladies and gentlemen, great ambassador for the sport of bowling. As Parker will tell you, he has been basically in the PJBT family, maybe not since day one, but definitely from day two. We love having Parker on each and every time he comes out here to support his boys and his daughter here on tour. All right, let's look at some scores here. We're in frame 9 of the scratch match, and Howell Lane's number 1 still with a pretty sizable lead over Howell Lane's number 2. They got about roughly a 12-mark lead or so by about 120 some odd pins. We are just about done with the first handicap match, the one that's on the featured pair on 43 and 44. Looks like Jersey Lanes will be wrapping that up. They will be moving on to the finals. They are up by, let's see here. They're up by 70 pins, 60 pins, and they're down to their last bowler, so that match is wrapped up. What still is in doubt is the handicap match on 45 and 46. They are in frame number 10, and Howell Lanes has just taken the lead. Elizabeth, I cannot see her full last name. She has doubled. She is up in the second ball in the 10th. She got a 7 count on her second shot. She left the 1, the 3, and the 9. All right, so they are now on their third bowlers. Howell Lanes with a slight 10-pin advantage. Christina Cologne went for Shell Lanes. She left a 10-pin. She made her spare. Christina got a 9 count on her second shot. Jaden went 9 spare. So they will maintain about a 10-pin lead with 2 bowlers left to go. Howell Lanes' bottom 2 bowlers are on a strike and a spare, and Shell Lanes' bottom 2 bowlers are on an open and a spare, so advantage Howell Lanes. And for those of you wondering, and I'm sure you are, I'm getting my butt kicked in fantasy football this week. Jaden throwing the fill shot, 8 count. She shot 155, so Howell Lanes up on the scoreboard by 8, closer to 20. The fact that they're on 2 marks, where Shell is only on 1, and Massimo Caruso left an 8-10. So that will probably end their day. A 5-pin for Jake Bennett. In the other match, Jersey Lanes with a 796 to 761 victory over Cyprus. And the anchor bowler for Shell Lanes also left another 8-10. This one was a 2-8-10 that the 2-pin fell. So that's definitely going to end their day. They will be at 749, and Howell Lanes is already in the 760s. So it'll be Howell Lanes against Jersey Lanes. The number 1 and the number 2 seeds for the finals. That will be on lanes 41 and 42.
All right, and Howell Lane's handicap team with a 785-749 victory over Shell Lane. So that's going to wrap up the handicap semifinals. We are now in the 10th frame of the scratch match, and Howell Lane's number 1 will defeat Howell Lane's number 2. Skip, I think we need people to start clapping for us when we're gearing up to say something like that.
That's true.
Yes.
We need some little bit of momentum out there.
Yes.
So, did you ask Parker about the Big 5?
No, I did not. I can't believe I did not. We got to get him back here. Where did he go?
There we go.
I got to ask you this, because Skip brought it up, and I can't believe I forgot to ask you this.
You were on mute.
Oh, sorry. On the telecast this week of the U.S. Open, did you happen to watch the U.S. Open finals this week?
Yeah, yes.
I believe it was the second match. Dom Barrett in the 10th frame. He needed 6 pins on his fill shot to move on to the next match. And Marshall Holman says he's probably going to throw the ball straight here because if he hooks the ball, he could leave the Big 5. What is the Big 5?
We've actually been discussing this amongst ourselves for the last week.
Well, you got to understand that Marshall is really removed from regular bowling. So, the Big 5 obviously being the Greek church, let's just say it's Marshall's terminology behind what the Big 5 is.
So it is the Greek church.
It is the Greek church.
Okay,
Yeah.
That's all we needed clarification on.
Yeah. There's no other way to, or a simple way to look at it. When you look at somebody hooking the ball like Dom can hook it, the Greek church, or let's say through the nose for 4, like infamously we see some bowlers do.
Yes.
From time to time, but it worked out good for Dom.
Yes.
Even though he barely hit the 6 pin on the last shot there to win the title.
Absolutely. Yes.
In bowling, the old saying is not how, it's how many.
That's right.
That is true.
So
I will now be using the term Big 5 when
Big
I
Five.
the Greek church.
Yes. I still thought he meant, St. Joe's, Villanova, Drexel. Which 2 am I missing?
Wait. With Marshall, that is always a possibility.
Yeah.
Maybe he was totally removed from bowling at that point, looking at what was going on. So, I doubt that he was talking about the super washout, but he could have been talking about that as well. But I'll go with through the nose for the Greek church.
Yes. Skip and I had more than one conversation about what in the world is the Big 5.
Yes, we did.
I also thought maybe it was a lottery game, or a horse racing thing, or something.
Well, like I said, with Marshall, anything goes.
Thank you, sir.
Yes,
Hey,
that's
I'm
all.
glad I could clarify that.
Yes,
but you know
thank
what?
you. I appreciate
Please
it.
don't hold it to me, and maybe we'll have to reach out to Marshall to find out exactly what
It's not a bad
full
idea.
definition
Yes. Thank you.
is. You're welcome.
Thank you, Skip, for reminding me about that. Cypress Lanes girls, your semifinalists today.
Our third place finishers in the handicap division. Each bowler getting a $50 scholarship. Certificate and medal goes to the team of Shell Lane, Christina Cologne, Ariel Luna, Christina Cologne, Massimo Caruso, and Jacob.
All right, Shell Lanes, semifinalists today. Good bowling for them.
How does that work?
It's the seed that they want. They shoot about the same amount of money anyway. It's just their medal is going to say third or fourth. And your runner-up finishers in the scratch division, Howell Lanes number 2.
Title
Whoa.
All right. There we are. Actually, you want it a little closer. Just like that. All right. For those of you that may have been watching the last match on 43 and 44, you were watching this all-star that's now joining me. Her name is Michaela. Say your last name so I make sure I say it right.
Wien.
Wien?
It's not Wiener.
I hear you're 7. Is that right? You're 7. And what did I hear? This is like your 14th or 15th game in the last 2 days that you bowled today?
Yeah.
Yeah? How do you still have an arm?
Well, I don't know.
Hasn't your arm fallen off?
No.
No? Do you like to bowl?
Yeah.
Do you? What's your favorite part about bowling?
When Daddy yells at me.
When Daddy yells at you. Daddy, just so you know, we got 563,000 people watching right now. That's. I like that answer. Give me 5 there. That was great. So, how do you think you bowled today? This wasn't easy today. How do you think you did? Did you bowl good or not so good or?
Good.
Good? Do you know what you average in your junior leagues back at home?
84.
84, is that right? And you're only 7, and you average 84? My first year of bowling, let's see here, it was right after World War I ended in 1918. I was 10, and I averaged about 84. My God, you're going to be, by the time you were 10, you're going to be in the scratch division. You think you could bowl against these scratch bowlers?
Yeah.
I think you could take them. So, who brought you here today? Besides Daddy. I see Daddy over there. Daddy's trying to figure out how he's going to explain to 563,000 people that that his daughter's favorite part is being yelled at in bowling.
Mommy.
Mommy, where's Mommy? There's Mommy. Does Mommy help you bowl too?
No.
No? No? Is Mommy a bowler? Yeah, Mommy bowls? Sort of. She tries to bowl? Tries to bowl? And Daddy is a bowler?
Yeah.
Yeah? Are you better than him?
Only Mommy.
Oh, you're better than Mommy. I like you.
Yay.
You have to come out here a lot more often. So you bowl out of Cyprus, is that right? Cyprus, that's not far from here. Are you going to be back next week for the doubles?
Yeah.
Yeah? Do you have a partner yet?
Yeah.
Do you? Does she? Does she have a partner for next week's doubles tournament? I tell you what, if my kid unfortunately is going to be in Ohio bowling in a college tournament, if not, I would tell him that you two are going to partner up. You average a little bit more than he does, but actually he averages a little more than you, but I think you could take him, actually. You think you can, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how long have you been bowling for? A couple of years now?
3 years.
3 years. Is this your first year off of bumpers, or was that last year?
I never had bumpers.
You never had bumpers. You never had bumpers. Is that true? That's awesome. Give me 5. I'm telling you, I love you.
Ooh.
Is there anybody out here in YouTube land? Now, like I said, there's 565,000 people now watching. Is there anybody you want to say hi to? Nobody at all. Yep.
Nah.
Nobody's watching? You don't know anybody that's watching? Who's watching? Mom? What?
Nope.
Gma and Papa Shango, I think, are watching. I think that's what I heard them say. You know, Papa Shango used to be a wrestler.
true.
Nope.
It's true. All right. Are you going to have, like, where are you going to tell mom and dad to take you now because you bowled so good today? Where do they got to take you before you go home?
Olive Garden.
Olive Garden. I really love you. I really do.
Nope.
Ah. All right. I know they said not, watch what you say. You have whatever you want to say right now, right into that camera. Go ahead, and then I got to go. Who do you want to say hi to? Or you want to say I love bowling, or come bowl at Cypress, or PA Fats is great, or...
Hi, Brian.
Who?
Brian.
Who?
Brian.
Is that your boyfriend?
No.
No. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's give this young lady a nice round of applause.
I do not have a boyfriend.
You don't have a boyfriend. Very good. Thank you very much.
And I have 3 of your winners right behind you if you'd like to talk to them.
We don't need to talk to them. This was better.
Send them in.
Let's stand up for this. Look at this crew. Holy cow. Defending their titles from last year, by the way. This is Howell Lanes, #1. Congratulations. Your name?
Brian Taylor.
Congratulations. Your name? I don't really care. We know who you are. Congratulations. Congratulations. And your dad was telling me that when you were on, like, your high game today was like 146 until that last match. Is that true?
184.
184. You were definitely not Justin Bone today. No. All right. Actually, you're on mute. You're not.
All right.
So, how did you guys handle Abbey Road today? Who wants, like, we'll pass the headsets around.
Ooh.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll start with him.
Well, my day today was not good.
Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to take this off of cameras because Matt's got to get FaceTime right now. Because we all know how Matt is. Go ahead, Matthew.
Okay, real quick, our title match for handicap. #1 seed Jersey Lanes taking on #2 seed Howell Lanes.
Howell Lanes.
Handicap match. Let's have a nice hand for our title match in handicap.
All right, we're back for the more important thing.
All
All
right.
right.
All right, so Abbey Road.
I started off hooking it, and
Speak up.
I started off going around him, and it just didn't work out very good. Then I went through probably every ball in my bag, and all 4 of these guys can back me up on that. In like the middle of game 3, after I bowled 140 and then 130, we decided that throwing it down the middle would be the best way to go.
Come on, Cindy, start it off.
I bowled 180 with 9 marks, which was very impressive, and then 170 with a couple opens, but we got there, and then we got the ball on fresh, got a couple of shots of practice, and made a ball change, zone change, and it all worked out the right way in the end.
Joey, Abbey Road.
Yes. I tried staying as far left as I can to use the hold in the middle. I figured that everybody would surface trying to play out, just stay away from everybody. It worked all right. A lot of over-under, really speed control was important. Didn't bowl all that great. Good enough, though. It was all a team. We pulled together as a team, and when we needed it, we ended up finishing off, so feels good.
Abbey Road, go ahead.
Well, the first 2 games, I think I tried playing up the gutter, and that did not work at all. And then Parker told me to get a little inside and play the inside, and that helped a lot. I switched to urethane, and that just made it the whole day easier.
You always do what Parker tells you to do?
Not always, but
Always. Smart man. Smart man.
Abbey Road, really quick.
First couple games, tried to use urethane most of the day in the middle of the lane. Didn't work that often, but once it broke down, I moved a ton left, and it just really worked. And we bowled great as a team.
Yes, you did. Brandon, Abbey Road.
I liked it except for the first and last game. First and last game, there were my only 2 games under 200 today. After game 1, when I shot 170, I switched to urethane. And trying to stay up the lane with urethane pretty much the rest of the day. And it worked pretty well.
All right, one more quick question, then I got to get back to this match. Hey, that's for me. What makes Howell Lanes the best? You've won this now back-to-back years. Tell me what it is. Why is Howell Lanes the best?
Charlie and Neil, and every one of their single members of their staff there, they'll do anything for youth bowling, and we just can't thank them enough. It means the whole world to us.
You have anything to add to that?
I'd like to thank Parker and Leslie for running a good youth scholarship program. And, yeah, that's about it. Yeah.
Anybody else, quickly? Why is Howell Lanes the best?
We're all pretty close, I think. We're all pretty close together there. Charlie, Neil, they all give us the opportunities to excel. Same thing with Leslie and Parker. They always, give us their feedback. So we always work together as a team with it. So pulled it off nicely.
Excellent.
Couldn't have been better said. Could not have been better said.
All right.
They do the world for us.
I think the community there is just great overall. I feel like the community there is just great overall, especially with Leslie and Parker, as
yes.
Brandon said.
Parker was telling me you guys have like 32 teams on a Friday night.
Yeah,
that's
pretty great.
That's unbelievable. All right, ladies and gentlemen, these are your Scratch Division winners. Back-to-back years. Howell Lanes, #1. Congrats. 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 All right, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to play a little adjust the camera here for a minute. See what we could do. Hold on.